Ladies and gentlemen, as a Warlock main, I generally have a tough time getting excited about a new exotic armor piece. Now don't get me wrong, I'm always interested to get my hands on a new piece of gear to see what it's all about. But us Warlocks already have a lot of very nice exotics, so anything that's new to the party is really gonna have to bring something special. In Season of the Chosen, the Mantle of Battle Harmony exotic chest piece arrived on the scene. Aesthetically, it's really not my style. There's kind of a lot going on here and it makes my Warlock look like he's been on an ice cream binge for the last 4 months. But when I read the exotic perk for the first time, it seemed like someone at Bungie had built this exotic just for me. So with the new season, getting leveled up and getting my hands on Battle Harmony was extremely high on the priority list. And when it finally dropped for me in a Legend Tier Lost sector, I was, well, it's not exactly what I had expected. It's not bad, per se, but we got a lot to talk about. But if at any point during the course of this video you do find it useful, helpful, or enjoyable, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're really digging the content and you'd like to see more Destiny 2 videos presented by yours truly, consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel. But let's get into the review and see what this new exotic is all about. First off, for those of you who don't know, any exotic armor pieces that have been released since Beyond Light are available in Legend and Master difficulty Lost sectors. These can be found on Europa, the Cosmodrome, and now the Moon. The featured Lost sectors and the exotic that they can reward will rotate on a daily basis. And on completing one of these, there's only a chance that your exotic will drop. You may get it on your first few runs, or you may be banging your head off the wall for 20 plus runs. May RNG be kind to you. The Mantle of Battle Harmony that dropped for me has a pretty bad stat roll, but trying to farm multiples of these is, well, yeah. So when it finally dropped for me, I said, I love you so much, here, please take my Ascendant Shards and be mine. And yeah, I masterworked it before I even equipped the exotic. The exotic perk had me drooling. Absorption cells, takedowns, which seems like an ambiguous Bungie term for something very specific, with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass element, grant you super energy. Nice, right? This more or less takes stasis out of the mix, but oh well. There's more though. While your super energy is full, instead you gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass element. I'm a habitual super hoarder, so I figured this would work out perfectly. The wording here is very important though, and we're gonna look at it a little deeper later on. But me personally, I'm a Voidwalker Warlock through and through, and a lot of the weapons that I really like using are also Void Elemental. I've got my Bottom Dollar, my Glacioclasm, my Chain Reaction Crowd Pleaser, Two-Tailed Fox, Leviathan's Breath. Ley Monarch would pair very nicely here. At closer ranges, I could run the Retro Futurist Shotgun, or if I wanted to throw on a sniper, I have a nicely rolled Frozen Orbit. So, I figured, I got my guns, I got my exotic, I'm set for the next year. And then I started measuring its functionality, which we'll get into now. Alright, first thing we're going to start off taking a look at is the super regen aspect. I have tier 5 intellect currently, meaning if I sit on my butt and do nothing for 4 minutes and 31 seconds, I am guaranteed to have my super. But with each enemy we kill, whether Battle Harmony is equipped or not, you will see some super energy gains. So we need a control for our experiment. No better place than the Lost Sector that I've essentially been living in for the last 4 months, the Conflux on Nessus. So I took my kinetic steady hand in there, cleared my super, and killed every ad in the initial wave. That would be 7 red bar Scions, 11 red bar Legionaries, 3 red bar Incendiors, and 2 orange bar Nightmare War Beasts. After offing all of them and waiting around for a bit, I had my super in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. So next, I equipped Mantle of Battle Harmony and took my Bottom Dollar in there and repeated the process. My super was now recharged in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, shaving 1 minute and 35 seconds off the cooldown time for killing 24 red bars and 2 major targets. And do keep in mind, major targets are going to result in a bigger boost to your super meter. Not too shabby though, but will I get more super energy if I equip a weapon that uses special ammo? Let's run it back with the Retro Futurist Void Shotgun. And just so you know, I did have to switch back the Bottom Dollar for the last 3 Scions because I ran out of ammo. But I did get my super back in 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So that's actually a shade longer. Why? You'll notice the energy siphon indicator pop up when you kill an enemy. This has a 2-second timer. This is not a time frame in which you're gaining super energy. That all comes in one chunk on a kill. You'll always see a bump on a kill, but you'll see a bigger bump with Battle Harmony. What this is a cooldown timer on Battle Harmony's exotic ability. Bummer, right? So if you down multiple enemies in that 2-second time frame, less super energy will be rewarded. My kills with bottom dollar were more spaced out than my kills with the shotgun, which is probably what's causing this slight discrepancy. But either way, we still are knocking a good chunk of time off of our super cooldown. But can this be improved any further? What if we had an energy weapon with Thresh on it? Well, I just so happen to have a Shadow Price that rolled with Thresh. So, we're gonna swap over to an arc-based subclass and see how it goes. And I noticed that as I was mowing down the baddies, my super meter was charging at an alarming rate. So quickly in fact, that I didn't have time to secure the kill on the last Scion before my super was fully charged. So with Battle Harmony and Thresh working together, my super came back in 1 minute and 23 seconds. So yeah, effects of Thresh will definitely stack with Battle Harmony. And there are certainly ways to speed this up even more. I mean, spec hard into Intellect, pick up Orbs of Light, which I was being very careful not to do in my testing, or try out the Energy Converter mod. There's probably other ways, but I'm really not your go-to build guy. My good buddy JBoyTV does a really nice job with them though. Head over to his channel when we're done here and tell him that Ironworker wants you to show us what Mantle of Battle Harmony can really do. But anyway, there's still another piece to the puzzle that we need to take a look at. That bonus damage when our super is charged. So with bottom dollar at base, a crit is going to land on Carl for 4,956 points of damage. Whenever our super meter is full though, we hit for... wait, the same amount. Maybe it's the gun. Let's try out the Void Shotgun. When our super meter is full, each pellet is registering for 1,809 points of damage. And when we burn our super, each pellet is hitting for 1,809 points of damage. Huh. Now, remember when I told you to watch the wording in the perk description? Let's look again. Takedowns with this weapon that have a matching damage type to your subclass element grant super energy. Yes, got that part. The next sentence. I think it'd be less confusing if it read, takedowns while your super energy is full grants you a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass element. Now, yeah, they did kinda say that, but I think they could have been more clear. This part of the perk, this damage increase, is kill activated. With a full super, upon securing a kill, instead of seeing the energy siphon prompt, we will see absorption cells activate. This buff has a 5-second timer on it, and can be extended to a maximum of 10 seconds by killing multiple enemies. Each enemy will tack on an additional 3 seconds. So when the absorption cells buff is active, with bottom dollar, we're now landing for 5,947 points of damage on a crit, rather than 4,956. That's a 20% damage increase. And hey, while it ain't much, I could always snag a few kills with my primary weapon, and then switch to a Void Heavy to get extra Wait. There goes that idea. The buff is gonna cancel on a weapon swap. Will this damage increase stack with something like High Energy Fire? When both buffs are active, we're seeing the same 5,947 points of damage on a crit. So, no. A specific weapon buff though, will it stack with something like Kill Clip? I had to swap to Last Perdition to test this out, but we are critting for 1,677 points of damage when only Kill Clip is active. And when absorption cells are active at the same time, we're looking at 2,013 points of damage. So yes, a weapon bound damage increase will stack with Battle Harmony's damage increase. And I think that covers all the major points on this exotic in PvE, and I do have some thoughts, but I'm going to save until the end of the video to share them. Right now, we got to move into the Crucible and see how it's doing in there. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't work. At all. Alright, before I did any of this testing, I did take this exotic into the Crucible and play a few rounds with it, and I immediately knew something was up. But I figured I'd put it through its paces here anyway. I started out by securing 10 kills with my bottom dollar without Battle Harmony equipped. My super was fully charged in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So I equipped Battle Harmony, cleared my super, and repeated the same process. When I downed an enemy guardian, something was missing, like the energy siphon indicator. Big oof. Now, maybe the on-screen prompt just wasn't showing up, so I finished out the cycle to make sure. And lo and behold, my super came back in 3 minutes and 10 seconds on the nose. So, like the Thresh perk on our weapons, Mantle of Battle Harmony has no effect on our super regen in the Crucible. How about a damage increase though? Can a guy get a damage increase? Super is charged, subclass is void, weapon is void, Battle Harmony is equipped. Upon downing Agent Sparkles, absorption cells do not proc. Crash Dummy Roy is taking no additional damage. So I hoped maybe if I dropped Crash Dummy Roy 2 it would proc on a multi-kill. But no, of course not, why would it? This exotic is apparently 100% non-functional in the Crucible. If this is a bug, I hope it's fixed quick. If this is intentional, that is a damn shame. Okay, Mantle of Battle Harmony in PvE. If you're someone who prioritizes having your super up as often as humanly possible, this exotic can help you achieve that. But the energy siphon is on a cooldown timer and does hold this exotic back a little bit. Just watch out for it. With the damage increase, I'm disappointed, and that's partially my fault. I should have initially read through the perk description more carefully and picked up on the fact that it was kill activated. So if you're holding onto your super, this can make you more efficient in clearing out adds and major targets as you work your way through an activity, as long as your elemental weapon damage matches your subclass. But honestly, I really don't feel like I'm getting much more out of this exotic than I could from running high energy fire. Then the damage buff canceling on a weapon swap is slightly annoying. If I'm switching to a weapon with a matching element, I don't see why I shouldn't retain the buff. If I switch to my kinetic weapon, I mean just leave the buff timer and don't give me the bonus damage. In a boss encounter though, once the adds dry up and have been killed off, this exotic becomes worthless. No super regen, no more damage buff. And to really make the most out of this exotic, you do need to focus on a single elemental damage type. So in higher end content, where the match game modifier seems to be ever present, you really need to know the activity and the elemental shield types of the enemies to make sure you have the proper tools to deal with them. Speccing too heavily into a single elemental type usually isn't a good idea. In PvP, I'm beside myself, I'm livid, I have no words. That's a lie, I have words. If some perk, trait, or exotic capability just completely does not work in PvP, how about you just come out and say it, Bungie? Put it in the description. PvE only. Don't dance around the point with your enemy combatants or takedowns lingo. Tell us what it does, tell us what it means, tell us how it works. Even if Mantle of Battle Harmony half worked in PvP, I probably would have been fine with it. If you don't want to give me my super energy back on a kill, fine. At least give me the damage bonus when my super is active. This is a kill activated 20% damage increase that lasts for 5 seconds. Is this out of line? No. You can get the same damage increase from Charge with Light and High Energy Fire, and you don't even need to secure a kill, or have your super fully charged to achieve it. Plus, that damage increase is gonna stay active until you die or get a kill. With Mantle of Battle Harmony, we are talking about a kill activated 5-second window. Is that game breaking? Absolutely not. It is ridiculous that this exotic is completely non-functional in PvP. All in all though, if I had to use one word to summarize my thoughts on this exotic, it would be underwhelming. Here again though, my fault. I got myself hyped up on a preconceived notion of how I thought this exotic would function, and it didn't line up. So like I said earlier, if you like having your super up as often as possible in PvE, maybe this exotic will work out well for you. For me, it's just not offering a big enough upside to make me want to use it. So, like many 1980s Saturday morning cartoons, there's a good life lesson built in here. If you're buying a house, get an inspection done. If you're buying a car, make sure your mechanic looks at it first. And if you're going to spend 3 Ascendant Shards to masterwork an exotic armor piece, make sure you know its capabilities and what it can do for you. It'll save you a lot of grief in the long run. But if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful or useful in any way, please remember to leave it a like. And consider subscribing to the Ironworker Gaming channel to catch much more Destiny 2 content in the very near future. If you'd like to catch me live, I will occasionally be streaming right here on YouTube. It's been a minute, but I will be hopping on here one of these weekends. And if you'd like to contact me, you can look for Ironworker814 on Twitter, join our channel Discord, link will be in the description, or comment down below and I will do my best to get back to you. And with all that being said, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this exotic armor review. You guys are awesome, and I will catch you on the next one.